Hello painters, it's Debbie from acrylicpouring.com and I'm back today for another record pour, but I'm going to combine it with something a little bit different today because I love to swipe. So I'm going to try and do a spiral swipe on a record. So I've got my record set up on a turntable so that hopefully I can turn it slowly as I try to swipe. But I'm not very good, I'm not very ambidextrous, so we will see how this turns out. I am using all Deco Art paints today. This one is the Americana range, the Indian turquoise. And then I have some from the multi-surface satin. This one is a very nice coastal waters. Then because I love my metallics, this one is ice blue. That one is very, very nice. Then I have another metallics. This one is in teal. And last of all, of course, obviously a snow or titanium white just to go with them. So I've got all of my colours mixed up. In terms of how I mixed them today, my recipe was slightly different because these paints are thinner than the other paints that I often use. Then they were all mixed with around 50% of the Floetrol and had no water added to any of them. They've also been they've also had the silicone belt treadmill oil added at around 2 or 3 drops per colour. So I thought what I would do, oh, and I've also got my white which is pre-mixed in here. So what I thought I would do was spread them out in kind of lines that go out from the centre of the record and then try and turn the record as I swipe out in a spiral. So we will see how that turns out. Colours are not my strong point by any means. You've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I'm not very good with my colours. So what I've tried to do is pick obviously one white, very light colour, then I've tried to go for a gradient of, you know, one light, one kind of in the middle, and then a couple of darker colours. So hopefully when they all mix together with the swipe, I'll still be getting some kind of contrast with them, but we will see. Sometimes when you swipe, it can all kind of just mix in a little bit together and some of the contrast can be lost. So we'll see how it goes. So I think what I'm going to do is just try and pour the colours out in stripes from the centre, and then we'll see how it goes. Don't need to be too exact, and I probably also don't need to go right to the edge because as I swipe, I dare say the paints will spread out a little bit towards the edge of the record anyway. This blue is electric. I love this colour. Well, in fact, I love all the colours. I went through my paints today looking to see which coloured paints I was going to use, and I thought, goodness, haven't I got a lot of blue paints? And I think obviously because blue is my favourite colour, I've got a lot more blues than anything else. If you've been watching for a while, you'll know what my least favourite colour is, and that's green. But I was surprised, I still found about half a dozen greens. I mean, you could even look at these 3 and say they were kind of green. So, but definitely something that's more blue than green is my favourite. So let's go. So when I find that I lay out colours for a swipe, what I like to do typically is not to overlap them too much, because in order to get a smooth finish on the swipe, sometimes it really helps if the colours are smooth to start with. So if I put some on top of another, then I end up with kind of thick bits and thin bits in the painting. I find it doesn't swipe so nicely. I get kind of a little bit of ridges and that in the finished swipe. So I'm going to try and lay them out so that they're kind of next to each other more than on top of each other. And I'm also trying to do a little bit so that we've got light, dark, light, dark. But it often doesn't always work out as planned. Let's put the rest of that. This is the lovely teal colour. Oh, my cat's in his cardboard box again. He's making a lot of noise there in the corner. Sorry about that, Scruffy. I'm on the video. He doesn't care. He shows no regard for me as an artist. Do you, Scruffy? No, he's just really not bothered. Okay. So we're almost done. And then I want to put some white in here too. So I'd almost forgotten what I was doing there and got carried away with all the colours. So let's get a bit of white in here as well. So I'm going to put a big blob of white in the centre. And then also spread it out where I've got some of these gaps. A little patch in here that could do with some more colour, so what have I got to go in there? Let's go with this blue. Oh, he's fed up with the box already. Okay, so there are my colours, and I have undoubtedly got plenty of paint on here. So now what I've done is, these are the paint sample cards that I pick up from the DIY store. You can see I use them over and over again for my swipes, and I've cut some in half because I thought it would be good if I started like this and kind of swiped out in a spiral, and probably a smaller one is going to work better. So fingers crossed this is going to work out. I've got a lot of paint, more so than I probably would have done with a regular swipe, so let's see. I'm going to start kind of in the centre just here, and then I'm going to try and hold my swipe tool steady and then gently turn the turntable with my other hand, and we will see what happens. And obviously as I do it, I want to try and come out in a spiral. Ooh, a wavy spiral at that. And as I do it, I'm going to end up with like a spiral line, because I want to come next to the swipe that I've already done rather than on top of it. So I should end up with a little line there to define the spiral. So far so good. I'm not sure if I'm going off centre because I have to keep my eye on my swipe card to see where that is going. Okay, we're doing good. I'm starting to go off the edge of the record now. Oh, I lost it a little bit there. Let's see if I can put it back on and keep going, just get this final bit done. I've got quite enough paint on this edge. I'm going to dab it with my card. That's going to fill it in sufficiently, and I've got just a little bit left to do. And it's good. Okay, so now I can dab the edge just with the little bit that I've got left on the card, and I think that is going to fill it in just fine. A little bit here. Just as I touch it with the card, it encourages the paint just to flow right up to the edge of the record, and then it will all be covered. A little bit over there. Okay, so I am just going to wash up my hands for a second, then we'll come back and take a look. Okay, I'm back and I'm happy. Do you know what I said earlier about how sometimes you can lose contrast in a swipe? I think even with these two dark colours, you know, I had this metallic teal and this ice blue, very dark metallic colours. Even though, you know, there was as much of those colours on here as there were of the other colours, you can see how by just swiping, we kind of mix the paints a little bit into one, and it does lose a little bit of the contrast, but I still think it looks good. And I think especially once it dries and we get the metallic effect of the paints come back, I think it's going to look really good. And I have still got this very kind of organic and gentle kind of wavy spiral that goes out that defines the shape. So I think I'm calling this one a success. I hope you've enjoyed watching. So I'm going to bring the camera down now and just show some close-ups of the details. So there's the painting from my point of view, and it does look really nice. I think you can probably just about see kind of the sparkles in all of the metallic colours that are coming through there. So, and this bit here looks really nice. It's almost like little ice flows, ice kind of floating on the surface of the water. And then it's got larger pools of the metallics. For some reason, the metallics, I find they always behave rather differently in a swipe. I have done an all metallic swipe before, And again, it was very much softer than some of the cells that you get in other swipe paintings and other pour paintings. So definitely the cells that you get from swiping with metallics are often different to what you would get with regular paints. So I think that's why we've got such a varied look in this painting. So I'm going to dry this one up and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. Well, here it is dried. I've not put any varnish or anything on it yet because I'm not entirely happy with how it's come out. I think I had far too much paint. I don't know why I got so over enthusiastic with all of my paint colours. I think I'd mixed up so much that I kind of felt like I had to use it all, even though I really didn't. And the paint was really thick, so I've got a lot of texture on this painting, including in here even some little bits of cracking and separation, which I never get. And it was just totally for the fact that I had so much paint on here that even after I'd set it to dry, the paint just kept running off the sides everywhere. So even though I'd set quite a nice kind of spiral design, it all left by the time. As you can see, you know, the paint was running off the sides. You can see where the little paint was running off in these kind of directions. So it has lots of nice sparkle. The metallics are really good, and the blue and the green metallic have come through a lot more now that the paint, all the paints had more of a chance to spread out and separate off the sides. But it's not my favourite and it's not what I was going for. However, nothing is ever wasted, and I've been looking for a background that I can use for practicing drawing and painting bubbles on, so I think this is going to be an ideal one for that. So look out in a future video once I've had a chance for a bit more practice, and I will be seeing if I can make some semi-realistic looking bubbles on this pour. I think with the blue and the green and the metallics, it's got the perfect colour palette for use with bubbles. So look out for that in a upcoming video, and in the meantime I hope to see you over at acrylicpouring.com or maybe in our Facebook chat group very soon. Thanks for watching.